Now we're going to be talking about some figurative language. These are different types of tools that an author uses to make their language more interesting. They also help a reader to understand things a little bit better without the author having to provide detailed explanations. And the one we're going to refer to right now is called an allusion. The definition you'll want to include for allusion is that it's a brief and indirect reference to a person, place, thing, or idea, and that can be of historical, cultural, literary, or political significance. So that just means that we are going to be, or the author's going to be, talking about something that they hope you as a reader already have a little bit of background knowledge about to help you understand the description of what they're sharing. But it's not going to go into deep detail about that person or thing because they're using it in hopes that you already know a little bit of information. So let's look at some different types of allusions. The first one we'll talk about is the historical allusions. That's where we're going to be mentioning a person or event from history. So here we have an example of, you've probably heard somebody say something about putting your John Hancock on something. That's referring to one of our founding fathers who signed the Declaration of Independence, and he has the biggest signature on there. So a lot of times when people are referring to signatures, they will actually call it a John Hancock, and that is an allusion, a historical allusion specifically. The next type are mythological. If you've read some Greek mythology or different kinds of mythological stories in your past English classes, that's where you're going to be getting these allusions from. It'll be referencing a character or event from those stories. So if you've ever heard somebody talk about Pandora's box, that's a story of Pandora who opens this box and all of the evils of the world come rushing out. So if somebody ever says to you, asking that question with like opening Pandora's box, that's saying that you asked a question that then you got all these terrible answers to. Now you know too much. Biblical, these especially were really popular in early literature because so many people were very familiar with the Bible. And they're still used quite a bit today. And so here's an example. If it doesn't start raining soon, I'm going to start building an ark. That's referring to the story of Noah's Ark, where Noah builds an ark when the rains keep coming. And then finally, we have literary allusions. That's going to be reaching out and trying to connect with a story, a character, or a scene from a book that you may be able to have memories of. And you can't see this bottom part of the slide, but it says, "Don't be such a Grinch." So that's a real simple one from when you were a kid, but you have to have knowledge of that story to be able to understand that allusion. But it's giving the reader an idea that that character is being cruel without having to say that specifically. And then in just a second, you're going to click on another video you're going to watch. It's just an example of an allusion in one of my favorite TV shows, Friends. And it is an allusion to a book that we have read in English 3 in the past called Of Mice and Men. Just to give you a little background, one of the main characters' names is Lenny, and his downfall is that he loves soft things. He loves to pet them, and when he does that, sometimes he gets a little too rough, and he ends up killing them. He carries around mice and ends up killing them because he pets them too hard. So if you know that piece of knowledge, then this clip will make more sense. So take a look at that.